everybody, and welcome to another video, The World According to Lonza. I am Andrew Lonza, and thank you for watching my channel where we discuss movies, poetry, anything that's on my mind. And since today is October 10th, 2023, I thought we'd discuss the wonderful life of Ed Wood Jr. to get you guys all into the Halloween mood. And that's because today is Ed Wood Jr.'s birthday. And if you don't know who Ed Wood Jr. is, that's okay, because not too many people, maybe hardcore kind of like rockers or punkers or whatever you want to call them, like that, whatever, hardcore cinephiles or people that really love cinema, they might know who Ed Wood Jr. is. Kind of a cult classic name, but he's not famous for being great. He's famous for being artistically bad. But some would say his artistically bad films are kind of ahead of their time and might have been brilliant. Yes, I'm talking about B pictures. Ed Wood Jr. is famous for his B films or C films or even D films from the 1950s. And he's more famous for, well, he's famous for a lot of things. He is one of the first well-known cross-dressers in America pop culture. Although he was married to two ladies, and you can say whatever that is. He what's really interesting about one of his films, Glenn and Glinda, is that, well, there's lots of stuff going on in society about sexuality and what it means to be a man and what it means to be a woman in the world we live in today. And this film, Glenn and Glinda, was extremely shocking, or would be taboo back in 1953, and probably wouldn't be. I don't think it was shown to too many audiences. It was just in a selected few theaters, and it stars Bela Lugosi, and it says this is what the premise of the movie is about. Glenn is in love with Barbara, beautiful, kind, loving, sophisticated. Barbara is everything a man could want or need in a woman. But what if a man needs more to esteem? So, in Ed Wood's case, I believe he lived his life. I mean, this is I don't want. We're talking about people. I believe he was a straight man who just liked to cross dress. That's supposed to be different than transsexuals that like to transition into the opposite sex. I'm not. I mean, I don't. I'm not. I want to know, but you know, there's a lot of political, a lot of social strong feelings about that stuff. We obviously had the Bud Light situation this year, and there's a lot of questions about sexuality in the world we live today. So, yes, this film, Glenn and Glinda, if you could get your hands on it, and it would be hard to find. You probably have to rent it on Amazon or something. It would be really interesting. This 53 minutes short. So let's just talk about, this is one of Ed Wood's films, and it's very sociology ish, but because it does talk about taboo subjects from back in the 50s, and controversy was even, of course, you think it's strong today, think about 1953 when this movie was released. Because the premise of this movie is this: a man feels more comfortable in women's clothes, so he dresses in women's clothes in the evenings and dresses up like a, quote, typical man would in a business suit during the days. I guess you could say he has a split personality. I'm going to continue reading this. I'm going to continue reading the back of this cover of this film called Glenn and Glenda from 1953, and it does have Halloween vibes, starring Bela Lugosi. He's Dracula, and you know he's Dracula, and it's directed by Ed Wood, starring by Ed Wood, and this is one of Ed Wood's real girlfriends. I think her name's Doris Fleur, and she was a B actress. All these people are B actresses. So let me continue with the plot of Glenn and Glenda. Glenn is in love with Barbara. Beautiful, kind, loving, suffocated. Barbara is everything a man couldn't want or need in a woman. But what if the man's wants and needs ran to extreme? Glenn has a terrible secret which threatens to destroy all his hope for a happy ever after with his lady. How can she handle the idea of another woman in Glenn's life? And what would she do when she finds out that Glenn himself is the other woman? So yes, very relatable to today's social climate. So without further ado, let's do a little biography of Ed Wood Jr. Just some, here's the main thing. He was born in October 10th, 1924, and I believe he died in December 10th, 1978. He was a bit of a drinker, amongst other things. Had a passion for film, and it says, see his spouses, Kathy Wood and Norma McCarthy. I said Norma Doris Flora. Well, that could have been her stage name. Let's just go what IBM. Let's go. I'm going to read what IBM says are at the database of movies. Some fun facts about Ed Wood, and then I'll show you some. I'll give you some recommendations and the movie to watch if you like Ed Wood, and it's a Tim Burton film. Okay. So some cool fun facts about Ed Wood Jr. is that the alphaness came, what you can say, as he enlisted in the U.S. Marine Corps in May of 1943, and he fought in World War II. So, he apparently even had women's underwear underneath his uniform, or his soldier's outfit. It says his first wife, Norman McCarthy, kicked him out of the house on their wedding night when she discovered he was wearing the woman's underwear. The marriage was never consummated, serving grounds for illuminated less than 4 months later. At the time of the death, Variety didn't run his obituary. Upon returning to the U.S. from World War II, he briefly attended Northwestern University, Chicago, for traveling in a carnival. He hired Larry Talbot and Bela Lugosi. At the end of their careers, Um, oh, he was a big fan of Orson Welles. He was admiring on Orson Welles. He was born the same day, October 10th, that his idol Orson Welles died many, many days later. So that's from International Data Movie Base. Here's Ed Wood's Wikipedia. Um, there he is. Ed Wood Jr. born October 10th, 1924, and died December 10th, 1978. Was also an author, and I do have one of his books handy. Um, you can see taboo, taboo, sexualism, 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 sexualism. I read this part of it. It's kind of a interesting novel. This will probably get canceled today, so hopefully this video doesn't get canceled. But it's called Black Lace Drag, and this will get canceled. This has probably negative stereotypes about transvestites way back in the 60s. And it's a murder mystery, pretty much sexual thing. And I have to reread it. I'll have to do a book review. It came out after his films. So, yes. Interesting character, Edward Jr. Look him up on the internet. Listen to some Interpol, maybe listen to some Deftones, some Korn. So they did make a. Let me run through some. So his movies were, let's just say for a better word, poor quality. Military service, United States Marine Corps. Just a few. So I mean, serving military. So the thing that I admire about him is that he was totally himself. He was a weirdo. He had passion to make cinema. It's obvious. He just, for quote other words, wasn't good at it, and was even named the world's worst film director in history. So, I mean, taboo subjects, but I mean, his biggest hit is here's Glenn and Glenna. Here and then The Bride of the Monster, kind of like a Frankenstein ripoff. And his biggest hit is like if you've seen Mars Attacks, it's Planet Nine from Outer Space. And he does have a cult following today. A lot of people, I mean, he would be like a punk kid, a punk T-shirt, rock and roll T-shirt, anti-authority, anti-society, kind of, rebel in his own way. But controversy in his own way. Of course, cross-dressing. I see. He in his film Glenn and Glenda, he says heterosexual would takes plans. So it has a lot of questions. He a lot ahead of his time. Sociology. I am sure Cal State Bakersfield or Berkeley or Harvard or USC, UCLA. People love. I mean, I'm not the only one talking about Ed Wood here, but it is his birthday, and I like to talk about interesting things, and I like to make videos about taboo subjects, which is not taboo anymore, or blah 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 blah. Some of his movies were considered pornographic. He was good friends with Bela Lugosi until his death. He tried to get sober, typical alcoholic. But depression, alcoholism. I don't think he has a star in the Walk of Fame. Or if you go to Hollywood, just check out some YouTube videos. I would suggest you, if you really want to know Ed Wood, there's two things to do. And I'm going to end this video shortly because I'm trying to make my videos just around 20 minutes. His best well-known biography film is starring Johnny Depp, and it's a Tim Burton film. It also stars Patrick Arquette, Sarah Jessica Parker, Jeffrey Jones, Barry Morey, Matthew Lionel, and is a winner of 2 Academy Awards. Ed Wood never got any acclaim, but this is funny. The movie based on his life did win several awards, at least 2 Academy Awards. One for Best Actor for Matthew Lionel, I remember that, and Rick Baker, Matthew winner of 2 Academy Awards. This is Ed Wood. The film came out in 1984. Lots of cool Hollywood, filmed entirely in Hollywood, all in Hollywood. So you can find. One other interesting thing: he had to steal or borrow lots of old movie props from like the 50s. So if I ever go down to Hollywood, I would try to do some filming locations of like his old studio, and I mean, there's so much interesting information out there. So that's my first video of tonight. That's my recommendation. If you like Tim Burton films, it's one of his few biographies. One of his 3 R-rated films. His first R-rated movie is Ed Wood. His second one is Sleeping Hollow, and his third one is can't think of the name right now. Sweeney Todd. All right, so that's my video for tonight. I haven't seen or heard from you guys in a while, or I don't hear from any of you guys because I'm just talking to my camera. But I just like to give you some fun videos of wacky or not wacky or whatever, good, controversial or not controversial, interesting filmmakers. So I'm gonna say, hey, we're getting 3 weeks out to Halloween. I have a TikTok with the same name where I read some poetry. So all of you that follow me on my YouTube channel, The World According Lonza, I also have my TikTok, The World According Lonza, and I read poetry and do all that fun stuff. So that's my random movie conversation about films of yesteryear. And thank you for watching my YouTube video, The World According to Lonza. I am Angel Lonza, and have a good night.